Oh, we're not live yet. Now we are.
Now we're live. So today we are talking about is email marketing a dirty word? Where are you on that topic, Jennifer?
I think for some people, it has become a dirty word. And you know why?
Why?
Because some email marketing is done so badly that it pollutes innocent people's inboxes.
Yes. Well, I think it's a dirty word. Just an example, I purchased a book and it came with a online course, which I'm sure signed me up to their mailing list. And since it was an online course, I'm getting updates about the course. But I signed up November 28th. And when I checked, it was about a month later, December 28th, I had received no less than 100 emails from this guy. And I was never on his email marketing list before I purchased this book. And he was sending, so that means he was sending, I think, about 3 emails a day. Dirty word that we've all had these experiences where we get on someone's mailing list and then we're constantly being bombarded with email after email.
Yeah, and it's just another example of why we can't have nice things. I mean, I think we all remember the early days of Gmail when it was like so exciting to get your first email address, and this whole email thing was new and fun and just a great way to communicate. You wanted email, like you were like, oh, I want somebody in my inbox. Well, we've come a long way since then. And now people, we ruin everything by trying to monetize it. I believe that tremendously. I get it. We've got a job to do here. We're business people. But I think there's a balance. And I think, Mary Sue, you can spit off, probably 100 statistics about why we need as business owners to have email marketing as part of our marketing strategy. But I think what is not included in those statistics is how to do it in a way that is authentic to you and your brand, that is delivering value to your audience, and is not a blind, a carbon copy of somebody else's email marketing. The reason your emails are getting lost in a bunch of noise is because you're copying other people's salesy headlines. I mean, I know I get sales emails all the time, and the subject lines are so similar and shouty and salesy and hyperbolic, and it just becomes noise. And they put the annoyance in noise. I don't think that worked. I don't think that landed. Sorry. But you get what I'm saying.
Yes. Well, I totally understand why people feel that email marketing is a dirty word because of all of that. But at the same time, I agree. It is important that we do email marketing. The reason we get so many emails is because, and here comes a statistic, 51% of people make purchases based on an email they received. So if 1 out of 2 people will make a purchase because of an email, that's why we get a ton of email. And there's kind of no way around that. But I do think that there is a happy medium, that you shouldn't be abusing it with 3 emails a day. I mean, really, who needs 3 emails a day from anyone?
I mean, couldn't you have just done it in 1 email? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I would think that at least, 1 email a day is, to me, max. 3 is excessive. I'm still getting more than 1 a day. I continue to stay on it just to see what he's doing, because why not? I'm on different influencer email list because I do like to see what they're doing, and it helps me to develop my own brand and approach to email marketing.
Can I talk about some things about email marketing that people are doing that is really, to me, such an abuse of power? That is turning email marketing into a dirty word.
Okay.
So this is something I really don't like that I'm seeing happening more and more. is you get an email from whoever, and then 15 minutes later, you get another email from the same person saying, oops, that was the wrong link. And at first I thought, the first time I received one of these, I thought, okay, you know, I took it at face value, me trusting my innocent little heart. I took it at face value. But then I was starting to get these emails with the exact same oops message from other people trying to sell me their courses and the, you know, all this stuff. So I knew that this was a new marketing tactic, probably touted by some online marketing guru who's telling his people in his $47 course to, hey, send an email. And then 15 minutes later, tell them that you, oops, wrong link. So then you get into their email, their inbox twice.
Yeah.
And you seem more human.
Yes. So my pet peeve with email, I know we want this to be a debate, but there are things about email marketing I don't like either, is when you get this giant email with text and text and text, and it's a story, really. It's a short story. It's not an email anymore. I don't even really read it. I don't, and I understand that that's kind of, at least that was the trend. I do see all these influencers that I follow. Their emails are getting shorter, and they are getting much more to the point, and they're using a lot more video so they can continue to tell that story. But that drives me insane.
I agree with you. I don't want to have to test my reading comprehension on your, you know, 1,500 word email. It's not fair. We're busy people. Okay. It shouldn't be like a long form blog post. It just shouldn't. Jody says, I've never had that happen, but this is so dishonest. Oh, she agrees with me. Thank you, Jody. I suspect you're going to get one of these kinds of emails soon, and you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. And you're going to be like, I'm on to you, you shady shyster.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about why email is good for your business. What I feel like we all are worried about doing it wrong because we all have experiences where we're being spammed with a ton of email, or we're getting the super salesy emails where they're just jamming whatever their product or service is down our throats. So we avoid doing any email because of that. And that is much more detrimental to your business than trying it out. Because I promise you, none of us as solopreneurs have enough time to write 100 emails that will be sent out in a month. Like these larger influencers do. They have a whole content team that is creating that. So you are not going to you're not going to spam people for sure. And you really do need to be getting your brand out there more often than you probably are. How much do you email your community, Jennifer, or your?
Not very much, you know, and Mary Sue, you hit the psychological component right on the head, because I've been, you know, inbox abused. I am very hesitant to do the same to my clients. And also there's that. And then also, like a lot of business owners, I get busy on other things that take, you know, priority over email marketing. It is on my 2020 list of goals, is to improve my email marketing game. But I also want it to be
2021. Did you say 2020, I think?
I don't know what I said. 2022, 2021, 2025, maybe. I don't know what year I'm in. I'm sorry, I'm confused. It's that date that, you know, when you switch years, the dates.
Yeah, it's always a challenge.
I'm easily challenged. Yeah, but I want to deliver something that is, you know, true to our brand, but also, you know, isn't trying to sell something necessarily, but also just another way to serve our clientele in some way. So taking time to think through that and what it is that is worth their time, because taking someone's time, I don't take that lightly. And I don't want to, you know, clutter people's inbox if something is not valuable. So you know, your point is well taken, Mary Sue. I'm definitely, as a business owner, probably leaving some money and some opportunities on the table by not doing much with my email list, which I've worked to grow. I've grown my email list, but it is a little dusty.
Yes, yes. I think I take the approach of just do it. I'm not a perfectionist, as poor Jennifer knows. And I make mistakes all the time. But I will say I get a lot of positive feedback by the information that I share. So not from everyone, but plenty find, because they've signed up for my list, they find the content useful to them. And so I keep doing it. But I will say I realized at the end of last year that I still had all of the people that were my clients and just contacts together in one mailing list. And I do think that is problematic. So I've actually removed my clients from my normal newsletter, and am starting to send more targeted content to them because they need different information. And I think that's also the beauty of email marketing, is that you can segment your content to the appropriate groups. So, and I'm going to be working on that. But as I said earlier, we're solopreneur micro businesses. It does take more time to create 2 types of newsletters than just one.
Well, that's where a virtual assistant will come in handy. Transparent LLC.
Yes.
Well, you know what? I'm trying to think about email marketing the way that I think about receiving snail mail. Like when you go to check your mailbox, what are the things that you enjoy receiving? Obviously, personal letters, like letters from friends and family, right? We don't communicate that way very much anymore. So it's extra special when you get that. Even catalogs from stores that you like to purchase from. It's fun to look through those catalogs. So I'm trying to think about magazines, like with magazines that have topics that you're interested in. So I'm trying to think about how I can incorporate that. Like, what do I enjoy receiving in my mailbox, and then how can I translate that into delivering something that somebody will actually enjoy receiving in their inbox?
Do you have an answer to that? That's a great question. I was thinking, I think you have to clarify which ones you signed up to, because you do get a lot of junk in your mail as well. Yeah, I like receiving my People magazine. I admit that I am a People magazine subscriber, as well as Real Simple. That one, I don't even understand why I do that. I think I just look through it because I want to see who I could be someday, maybe.
Yeah, I'm that person in another lifetime.
Yeah. I like getting handwritten notes too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you feel about people that make it really hard to unsubscribe? So this is another trend I'm seeing. And this tends to be from larger businesses, but you unsubscribe and then you continue to get emails. Why? Because you only unsubscribe from one of those lists that you're talking about, Mary Sue. And so you have to unsubscribe from all 14 of their lists in order to stop all the email. And that can sometimes it's one-clicked, and sometimes you actually have to select depending on whatever they're using for their email. And then
it's annoying.
I also don't like it when they send me an email confirming that I've unsubscribed, because I'm like, that's one more email.
I wonder if that's a legal thing. I don't think so. But, yeah, I know that is kind of like, I wonder if you open it, if they add you back on to one.
I'm so scared.
That is annoying.
There's more stats. Convince me I need to pick up my email game.
Okay, I believe that you really should pick up your email game. First of all, you're an expert in delegating and on how to really leverage other people on your a virtual assistant. And I don't think all of us really do know how to do that. So as a client, I would love ideas on how I can be using my Sparent or case studies of how it's really worked Personally, I think I've got a nice model with my Sparent on generating content, and she writes my blog. She will write 2 emails per blog, and she then creates social media posts about that blog. So I get like, and she creates 3 social media posts about that blog. So I get like 6 content items out of her efforts at a minimum, and it's been awesome. But outside of that, I'm kind of like struggling on how else I could be using the Sparent, which is something, when you're the business owner, I think you undervalue what you know.
Yeah.
And simple stuff seems too simple to share, but that's really what you should be sharing.
Well, and it's true that things that come so easily to us, like there's something in us that thinks that everybody knows it because it's our, what we live and breathe. But it was a good wake up call because we had a conversation. I was like, oh, you could use your Sparent to do this. And you were like, I never even thought about that. And I was like, it's so obvious. And you're like, no, it's not. You need to tell people. And so funny enough, Meredith, my business partner, and I, we talked about that today, about how we need to do a better job of communicating that and not assume that people know exactly what to do or how to delegate or what to delegate. So
yeah,
because
to me, if I were giving you advice, I would, which I am, I would probably focus on your client nurturing sequences more right now, like having some communication that you're sending out regularly on how to use their Sparent, because that will result in dollars spent with your business,
right.
1, and 2, your clients will be more successful making the most of their Sparent.
I love that advice because it's always easier to sell an existing customer something else. It's easier and it's less expensive than acquiring a brand new customer 100% of the time. So that's such great advice, and it's definitely something that we will be doing.
Yes. Yeah. And then how often do you email your audience?
Not very much. Not on any sort of regular, honestly, not any sort of regular schedule.
Okay. So I would be consistent. I think that's the one thing that you want to be consistent. And I would say you should be at least emailing once a month.
Yeah.
That's the minimum. So
for our email,
for your mailing list. Yeah. Not your clients, but yeah, your general mailing list, which I'm sure you can come up with content once a month.
I'm sure. I'm going to use a Sparent to do it because
yeah.
I run out of time, and I could use, my time could be spent on other things. So this is great. So email marketing, it is a dirty word when it's used incorrectly or abusively.
Yes. And when you're not thinking, when you're only selling, I think it's if you're only selling in them, then it is a totally dirty word. If you're focusing, which is what I do, educating and informing, and I try to focus on that 80% of the time, 70 to 80% of the time. And then I certainly do sell a little bit in those, but that's not my focus. And then I'll have promotion emails that are about selling.
I personally like your emails. It's not just because I like you, but they're very informative and helpful. There's always a clear call to action or like a freebie in them, which is always nice, and it complements the content. It's really smart. They're not too long. You use a font size that I can read with or without my glasses, which I appreciate. It's mobile friendly.
Mm-hmm.
The links go somewhere. I can't tell you how many emails I get that one might not have any links or a call to action. So actually, maybe they say something that does intrigue me about their business, but there's no direct link from the email, which means that I have to go and
search for it
or type it into my browser.
Yes, that is a great point. You should always have a call to action, even if it's just like reply to my question or schedule a virtual coffee.
Yeah, schedule a virtual coffee. Yeah, I think this is all great advice. I'd love to know how other people are using their email marketing, if they feel like they found a voice with their audience that resonates. I think, to me, I think it's important to find that sort of your business's personality and be able to translate that into helpful information and not be a copycat with your email. Because I don't care, like, you may have taken an email marketing course from some email marketing guru who made millions of dollars on his email campaigns. But if you just copy that and everybody else that takes this course copies that, it becomes worthless. This, whatever strategy that person used and told you to use, is worthless. I think it's better to come from the heart, and from a
find your own voice.
Find your own voice. And one thing I learned from you also, Mary Sue, which I fought you on initially, but now I've come full circle. I totally agree with you, is that you taught me not to over design the email, like with these beautiful templates, because services like MailChimp and there are others out there, they have these beautiful templates and they suck you in because they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. But ultimately, it doesn't matter what your email, it could just be a plain text email.
Yes. Well, and that's a really good point. I think if you're selling products where you have a picture of your product and a way to buy it and how much it is, like, that makes total sense. But the newsletter format that used to be really popular does not really work for most businesses. Another business that it does work for is like a networking group where there's a lot of events and you want to be able to show kind of a catalog view. But if you're selling a service like virtual assistant or an organizing service or something like that, you don't need that. And it will actually hurt your deliverability into the inbox if you have a lot of design on your email. I think it's easier to read. It doesn't come across as spammy if it just looks like a personal email.
Yeah, and it's quicker to load on your, ancient computer, and it's more readable on your phone, most likely. I'm assuming it's more mobile friendly, the plain text. So something to think about, because I think we all want everything to be so pretty, but it's really not. A lot of times, not necessary.
No, and if you look at like Amy Porterfield, Jenna Kutcher, Donald Miller, even the guy that I'm getting 100,000 emails from, they're not using the email designer for the most part. It may be slightly, but doesn't look over designed.
Yeah. I love that advice, because when you first gave it to me, I was like, I don't want to send ugly emails, Mary Sue. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. This actually makes sense when you think about it.
Yes.
So.
Anything else you want to share on?
Yes, I do. I want to encourage everyone, hi everyone, to join us at our next Small Business Grit event, which is our new short form. I'm calling them short form events because our main events are, ridiculously long, over several days, and they're packed full of value and they're amazing. But sometimes you just don't have time for them. So we have these short format events leading up and in between our main events. The first one, kicking it off, is called Turbo Networking. It's this Friday. And I think we'll put a link to register. It's a Zoom registration link. We'll put a link to register in the comments here. Eventually, I'm not good at multitasking, so it's going to have to be when this is over. But we'll put a link to register. It's completely free. So it is a chance to speed network at turbo speed. We don't have a lot of time. We want you to make a lot of connections in a fun, energetic way. We just want you to make as many connections as we can possibly create for you in the time that we have together, which is about 90 minutes, I believe.
Yep.
So join us, join other small business owners making connections. We're all trying to widen our network. Geography is a lot less relevant to a lot of businesses these days, as we have pivoted our businesses to the virtual format. So I think it's more important than ever to expand your network outside of your 5-mile radius of your home. So I think, if anything, we've learned, that's one of the many lessons we've learned from 2020. We're pulling forward to 2021. So please join us, Turbo Networking. There's a link further down on the feed on this group too, but I'll put it in the comments. And then, of course, we're leading up to Sales Circus, a main event.
Yes, March 15th through the 19th.
Honestly, email marketing is part of sales. There is a lot that falls under the sales umbrella, but as business owners, we have got to take control of our sales process, our sales strategy. We have to get comfortable with sales. We have to think more broadly about sales and our approach to bringing in new clients and customers. So that is what this week-long event is going to be about. Of course, it's a small business grid event, so it's interactive, it's live, it's participatory. And that is all because part of sales is building your network, your connection,
Yep.
collaborators, your referral partners, your strategic opportunities. And that is what we want to offer you. All of that is going to be available to everyone who participates. So please join us. I think it's $150 for a week with us. I mean, really, a week for just $150.
Yeah, and we've got some awesome speakers, so this will
Yeah.
Yes.
And networking events that are just not your typical networking events. We try to infuse a lot of creativity into our events, so it's not like, you're not just going to be sitting there listening to people talk at you.
Yes, exactly. It's like about 50% of our content is about networking and making new connections for you. Yes. Well, thank you very much. We will be back on Monday next week at 3:00
Yes.
for amazing content.
And you know what? Just so you know how hip and cool we are on the Clubhouse app, and we're going to be doing some Clubhouse app events. I'm at Jen Crawford. Please follow me. Please, I follow back.
What is mine? I think mine is actually Work Smarter CRM.
Oh, you didn't use your name. Interesting.
Maybe I should have put my name. I don't know. I just decided, let me do this one.
Yeah. So if you haven't been on the Clubhouse app, I highly recommend it. It is different. It is a different social media platform. I love its audio format. There's no links, there's no likes, there's no comments. It's real, live, unrecorded conversations. And you don't have to do your hair, your makeup, or even put on a Zoom top.
Yes, I like it too. Well, we'll be there next, right?
Yeah, I don't know when. I don't think, did we schedule one? I can't remember.
I thought we scheduled it right after this.
Oh, we're doing it next, like right now? Okay, yes. Join us on the Clubhouse app. I don't know if I scheduled it.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
You are a Clubhouse expert in comparison to me.
I'm doing a lot on Clubhouse and I've lost track of my activity. So I'll have to log on and see if I made the event. I may have forgotten.
All right.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Okay.